Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions of the day. We are talking Wednesday, April 16th. The Dong Report is back in your life. Sorry for taking the day off yesterday. For those of you that don't follow me on Twitter or didn't see the YouTube post, I had an emergency appendectomy yesterday. Luckily, appendectomies are pretty easy procedures at this point in time, so the recovery isn't terrible. And I wasn't really in that much pain. I had a little bit of stomach pain, which is why I went to the hospital in general. But all things considered, it could have been a lot worse. So again, I appreciate everybody for the patience from yesterday. I'm going to take it a little easy the next couple days, but at least going to get you guys the Dong Report because, come on, we can't not have the Dong Report. And I wanted to sleep in. I couldn't sleep in, probably because I needed to cash some dongs. So appreciate everybody for rocking with me. Before we get into today's picks, I'm going to have four for you guys to lock in. Four for you guys to lock in. Four dongs. I just want to do a quick recap on how this season has gone so far, just to let everybody know, if you're new to my channel, this is how things have gone. I play these home runs pretty light. I risk a quarter unit on basically every home run that I bet. So with that quarter unit size, we're up 6.86 units on the year. The most important number here is the ROI, 35.26%. Some people like to bet half units on dongs. Some people like to go crazy, bet full units on dongs. So obviously your unit size is going to be different depending on, your profit is going to be different depending on your unit size. But this is what I'm betting in my official profit. So that's what all that stuff means. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Let's get into today's picks. So time to put on my weatherman cap for the day. Pretty decent weather we have across some of these games. It is a little bit cold on the East Coast, which is why you see these cold icons here. So a little bit cold in Philly, in Cincinnati, in Pittsburgh, Yankee Stadium, and then in Chicago as well. So I don't have a play in any of the red games. I have some plays in the negative ones, and I have a play in this green one as well. And then we can get right into it. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Play number one. I went with Rafael Devers to hit a home run. That's my first play. He is best offered at plus 430 odds, if you allow me. Yeah, plus 340, excuse me. A little bit of, I mixed up the numbers there. Plus 340 odds at FanDuel. You can still get it. Best offered price there. Pretty decent price on FanDuel, 340 there, plus 280 at all the other books. Now, obviously, FanDuel generally should have the best odds because of the way they grade batters. Like if Devers doesn't get started, or if he gets scratched from the starting lineup, but pinch hits, FanDuel will still count that as a loss, where most other books won't. So generally, FanDuel is always going to have the best odds for MLB home runs, and that's the case, or MLB player props for batters in general, and that's the case tonight. Now, according to Ballpark Pal, which is my favorite tool, that's actually, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. That's Ballpark Pal is the tool that I'm using for all this weather stuff. I use them for their little sneak preview. I use them for their way they price odds as well. All that stuff is really, really helpful. And according to Ballpark Pal, which also grades the batter versus pitcher matchup, this is technically leans in favor of the pitcher, which would be Zach Littell. But Devers has been hitting the ball so hard recently, and Zach Littell has been so bad recently, that I'm still not scared off of this matchup at all. And I want to stick on Zach Littell for a second, just to show you just how bad he has been. So we targeted him actually in a game last week, and he got rocked. Now, the guy I chose to hit a home run did not hit one. The other team, basically all 8 other batters did. But he's been bad. I want to show you this. So home run per 9 of 2.65. Now, that's not going to be the case the entire year. It's not going to be a home run per 9 of 2.65, which is ungodly bad. Just a horrific number. But in his career, 1.27, not terrible, below average. 1.30, same thing, not terrible, below average. 1.62 is pretty bad. So he's gotten rocked this year. And just to give you guys context to how bad this 2.65 number is, it's second worst in the entire MLB behind Sean Burke, who, frustratingly, I've also targeted, just not with the correct guy. So hopefully we're able to right these wrongs. But yeah, he's not had a good year at all. He's been getting absolutely rocked. And what I like about Rafael Devers is he's been good. Like you look at him we're looking at the last 14 days. I wanted to highlight this. So he's one of 12 batters that has 7 or more barrels. Now Pete Alonso, another guy I just cannot get right on this on the right night, has 11, leads the MLB. Ohtani's got 9. Austin Riley, a couple guys have 8. And then about 5, 6 guys have 7. 12 of them exactly have 7. Every single batter, except for Rafael Devers, has multiple home runs. Actually has 3 or more, right? Like Aranda, another guy can't get on the right day, he has 3. Ohtani has 3. Everybody else 5, 5, 6, 5, 4, 4. And then we see Devers down here with only 1. Barrel I like to look at a lot because a barrel is when you hit the ball 98 miles per hour or above in terms of exit velocity, and it has a launch angle between like 27 and 30 degrees. It's like a very specific spot for the way you like exit velocity and launch angle and stuff, and it means you're hitting the ball hard and it means you're putting the ball in the air. That generally leads to home runs. And we see like Salvador Perez, who I didn't bet today, but I debated. He's got 1 home run on 6 barrels. But even the guys, if you look at the guys with 6, Kyle Stowers has 0. Everybody else has 2 or more except for Perez and Rafael Devers. So that's what? 21 batters. 18 of those 21 have multiple home runs, except for the guy we're betting, Devers. He's been hitting the ball incredibly hard. Now, he had a little bit of a cold stretch, Devers did, over the last couple days. But yesterday, he seemed to come out of that, which is why I feel really good about this. So if we look at I'm looking at Baseball Savant here, which is just the way I look at like exit velocity per at bat and stuff. I'm sure there are other sites that give you this. They're just the easiest for me. We look at exit velocity. We see Devers 107.5 off the bat. We see Devers hit a double 106.6 miles per hour off the bat. Devers 104.3 miles per hour off the bat. So he's been hitting the ball incredibly hard. Now, none of these had the necessary launch angle, -4, 12, and -5, but Devers has been a good enough home run hitter in his career, has shown the ability to put the ball in the air, as evidenced by the fact that he has all of these barrels. Like if you're getting a barrel, it means you're putting the ball in the air. So I feel really, really good about going with Rafael Devers for our first pick. Again, it's plus 340, not 430, plus 340 odds at FanDuel. Next up, we're taking another lefty. I actually think we have 3 out of our 4 lefties. Maybe I just like the lefties too much. We're taking Corey Seager to hit a home run. He was best offered. I think he was at 430, if I remember correctly, 425. Okay, so he's best offered at 425 at DraftKings. You're still able to get that price. Really, really good price here. DraftKings has it at 425. FanDuel has it all the way down at plus 300. I don't obviously exclusively bet situations like this, but it does add my it does add to the reasons why I like a play. That's what I'm trying to say here. Is when the FanDuel is so off of the market, because like I said, FanDuel should be giving the best odds for MLB batter props, right? Like if Corey Seager doesn't start, we just get our money back from DraftKings. All good there, no issues. If Corey Seager, just like I mentioned with Devers, comes in, doesn't start, but then comes in and pinch hits, well, guess what? FanDuel is still grading that. DraftKings is not. So you can find some value if you compare home run odds to DraftKings compared to every other book. Now, again, I have 3 of my bets on FanDuel, so that's not me saying that you should avoid them, but it just kind of helps with other plays. Now, Seager had a rough start to the year, has been on fire recently. So I want to look at his game log here and show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you look at his entire season, I mean, the beginning of the year up until April 6th, 1 barrel, had a couple games with a lot of hard hits, but also a couple games with 0. But if you look at his stats since April 6th, we're looking at the last 10 days here. And that's generally what I look at for baseball batter props, is between the last 7 and 14 days. Anything beyond 2 weeks, I don't really care about because it doesn't really matter. And I obviously give heavier weight to the more recent stats as well. So with Devers, his hot streak was actually not necessarily in the past 7 days, but more so the 7 to 14 range. But then he had 3 hard hits yesterday, so good to go there. Anyways, Corey Seager, 5 barrels in the last 10 games, which isn't amazing, but that's pretty good. Barrel rate of 20% is very good. 13 hard hit rate of 52% is pretty good. And then a launch angle of 16.7 degrees is pretty good as well. He's putting the ball in the air. So that's what I like to see with Corey Seager after a rough stretch to the year. I think he's got 3 home runs in the stretch as well. Yeah, he had a stretch. I mean, he had a game where he hit 2 home runs in the same game. And that was, I think, a tough matchup, if I remember correctly. But anyways, yeah, he's been hitting the ball hard now after a slow start. And the pitcher he's going up against, Jose Soriano, has had a really good start to the year. Jose Soriano has. You wouldn't think of Soriano as a dong ball guy, but for starters, plus 10, extreme advantage in favor of Corey Seager. So that's good. According to Ballpark Pal, this is a situation where we are targeting extreme advantage in favor of the batter. And you go through, I mean, obviously, like Corey Seager is really good. A plus, you see a lot, but in terms of the delivery, it looks at like the release point, both vertically and horizontally. A plus on both sides for Corey Seager. Now, again, against righties, you're going to see a lot of A pluses. The pitch mix is pretty good as well. I mean, again, Corey Seager is good. You're going to see a lot of A pluses, but the biggest thing here is that Soriano throws a sinker that doesn't sink, so that's called a stinker. D-rated there. The four-seam fastball, C minus. Corey Seager crushes sinkers, so that's a good sign here. In terms of the I wanted to show you guys the location. It's pretty good for Corey Seager as well. Like in terms of where Soriano throws it, plus 5% above or plus 4% above average in terms of height is A plus for Corey Seager. And then in terms of the where on the plate he throws it, looks a little bit worse. Plus 5, that's only B minus there. The minus 5 is an A plus. But then we see this like middle range here, plus 4. The biggest thing here is the plus 10 advantage in favor of the batter. And then what I want to show you is, so Jose Soriano, I think he's been I don't think he's allowed a home run, or he's only allowed 2 home runs this year, but both of them were against left-handed hitters, right? Both home runs were against left-handed hitters, and about basically the same amount of innings pitched. He's been a little bit worse against lefties. I mean, he's been awesome against righties, but lefties have had success against him. And then you look at his StatCast numbers, which looks at like the batted ball statistics. Allowed 5 barrels, barrel rate of 10.4%. The hard hit rate is decent, so 43.8%. So basically when a guy gets a hold of it, he's able to send it yard. But that barrel rate of 10.4% is pretty bad. Like these numbers are going to normalize over the course of the season. But to give you guys context, last year, the worst barrel rate in the MLB for all qualified pitchers was around 10%. And that's what Jose Soriano has. So I really like this one for Corey Seager. This was the best weather game of the day as well. It's hot, it's windy. Winds are blowing out to left field, which would help a right-handed batter, even though we are targeting a lefty. There are some good righty bats to target on the Angels side because Patrick Corbin is pitching. I like the other plays better, but Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, all good bets in this game. I also think the odds were terrible on those guys, if I remember correctly, which is why I didn't bet them. Hoppy didn't have odds, who I looked at. But yeah, Taylor Ward, plus 340 is not good. Trout, 200, 270. I guess Taylor Ward at the 425 isn't bad. It's another situation where FanDuel is much lower on all these guys. So, I mean, if you wanted to go with Taylor Ward or Mike Trout or Joe Adele, all those guys, I think Adele's a righty. I wouldn't blame you in the slightest because I think that this is a good game to target home runs. Again, I didn't go with any of those guys because I liked the other plays better, but hopefully giving you these lanes does help. Anyways, that is our second play, Corey Seager. Next up, we're going to go with Nick Castellanos to hit a home run. Hopefully nothing horrible happens last night, or you can make the argument that me having an appendectomy is the perfect day for Nick Castellanos to hit a home run. So if he does, I'll pretend that's the reason. So a couple reasons why I really like betting Casty. I'm going to stick with the pitcher here, Robbie Ray, who's just been an abomination this year. He hasn't really been good the past couple years, but specifically this year, he's gotten absolutely rocked. He's a left-handed pitcher, so that's the biggest thing for Casty. I don't like targeting him against righties because you just throw a slider and Nick's going to swing at that thing even if it's 10 miles off the plate, but lefties he's better against. But we're going to focus on Robbie Ray. So I have Game Day Insights here, which is behind a paywall, so I don't try to mention them as much as I can. The only one behind a paywall that I like to mention is Ballpark Pal because my research starts with Ballpark Pal. It's really important to me. But Game Day Insights is also really helpful. So anyways, Robbie Ray, he's given up 3 home runs this year. I mean, his stats are bad. Home run per 9, 1.90. Barrel rate, 15.38%. Hard hit rate, 43%. Line drive rate is good. Fly ball rate is bad. But you look at him specifically against right-handed hitters, guess what? All 3 of those home runs have been against righties. All of those numbers, not all of them, a lot of those numbers look worse, most importantly being that home run per 9 and that barrel rate. He has been disgustingly bad when facing right-handed hitting. And Nick Castellanos is better against lefties. We look at Nick over the last 2 weeks, pretty good against left-handed pitchers, 15.38% barrel rate, 54.55% hard hit rate. That's pretty good. The biggest thing here that I want to talk about are the 2 pitches that Robbie Ray throws are pitches that Nick Castellanos just annihilates. And it's forms of a fastball. It's a four-seam fastball, and it's a slider. We look at the four-seam fastball specifically. barrel rate of 40% over the last 2 weeks. Now, that's in a tiny sample size. Let's just look at this entire season. We're looking at this year against four-seam fastballs. Even better, barrel rate of 33%. He's hit a home run against them. And when you look at the times where the ball has left the bat for Nick Castellanos against a four-seam fastball, 102 miles per hour off the bat, traveled 397 feet. Look who that was against, Chris Sale. Now, Sale had a bad start in this game, so maybe it was just an off day for Sale, but still, 400 feet, good. Same game, another double off of Chris Sale, 102.8 miles per hour off the bat, just didn't have the launch angle. The game before that, 104 miles per hour off the bat, 389 feet, that was a home run. 92.8, not so great, and then he had a flyout that was 101.4 miles per hour off the bat, a little bit too much under the ball, so that was a flyout, 41-degree launch angle. Really, really good. That's the most important thing. Let's add the slider to the mix. We're looking at the slider here. It's only one at bat because one of the flaws with using pitch mix for game day insights, and I just kind of want to give you guys the full picture here, is that it only counts either a walk, a strikeout, or something that was in play. So if he smokes a foul ball, it's not going to count that. If he swings and misses on strikes 1 or 2, it's not going to count that. It's only going to count when he actually makes contact in the field of play, or he was walked or walked or struck out. But the one ball put in play against the slider, 99.6 miles per hour off the bat, 350 feet, would have been a home run if he pulled it, but he didn't. But you look at the two combined, four-seam fastballs and sliders on the entire year, 28% barrel rate, 83% hard hit rate, fly ball rate of 66%. He's barreling it up, he's hitting it hard, he's putting it in the air. Good, good, good. I like this one a lot. The other guy that I looked at for the Phillies, because if you look at Nick Castellanos, he did not have a hard hit yesterday. But because he'd been so good prior to that, and this is what I wanted to show you. So yeah, he had 0 hard hits yesterday, tough day at the plate. That's fine. That's going to happen. Prior to that, he had been pretty good. 5 barrels since April 6th. We're looking at the same time frame that we looked at with Corey Seager. 5 barrels, 18.5% barrel rate, 13 hard hits. Like, Nick Castellanos is never going to be the type of guy that's going to have a super high hard hit rate, but he tries to put the ball in the air, which is the most important thing, which is why you see that launch angle is pretty high. But he's generally been good recently. Again, he hit a home run 2 nights ago. 5 barrels over the last 10 days is pretty good. The only other guy I looked at on the Phillies, I wanted to target a righty. So if you wanted to go with like Harper or Schwarber, I wouldn't blame you. But Robbie Ray is just worse against lefties, or worse against righties, because he is a lefty. I actually thought Max Kepler was a good look for the Phillies. He had been disgusting at the plate, but had a really good day yesterday. He's generally been good against left-handed pitchers, so this would be a pretty good day for him, or a pretty good matchup for him. And we see, we're looking at Max Kepler, 103 miles per hour off the bat, 104.5, 102. He had a double, 2 lineouts. Needs to put that ball in the air a little bit more, which is why I didn't officially go with him, but been hitting pretty well. I also debated going with Mike Yastrzemski. I think it was his grandfather who was the famous one. Because he's been pretty good at the plate as well, and he's getting Aaron Nola. And Aaron Nola is a dong ball guy. You want to target Aaron Nola. I didn't want to have 2 guys in this game, and I liked Castellanos better, but 2 leans if you want Yastrzemski and Max Kepler. And honestly, JT is not bad either. I think you could also go with JT. But that is play number 3, Nick Castellanos to hit a home run. I think I forgot to give you the odds. That was plus 520. At FanDuel, plus 540 actually. No, you can get a better price for Nick Castellanos, plus 540 at FanDuel. So there you go. Best offered price there on FanDuel. And then our 4th and final pick of the video, I went with Michael Busch to hit a home run. He maybe is at plus 520, and that's why I have that in my mind. Plus 540 so they're both 540. Michael Busch. Nick Castellanos and Michael Busch are both plus 540. Sorry for the confusion there. So Busch is similar to Nick Castellanos in that if you look at his game log, he did not have a hard hit yesterday. But you look at his last couple games prior to that, he did not have a hard hit yesterday. Look at his 3 games prior to that. A combined 5 barrels, combined 8 hard hits, 5, 1, and 2 is pretty good. He had just been smoking the baseball. So yeah, we can forgive him for having a rough day at the plate yesterday when he'd been on fire prior to that. What I also wanted to show you here is we're looking at barrels. So instead of the last 14 days, let's look at the last 7. And let's look who's tied with the second most in this stretch. That would be one Michael Busch with 5 barrels. And those have all 5 happened since Friday. So yeah, he had one bad day at the plate yesterday. I'm okay with that because prior to that, he had been absolutely insane at the plate, hitting the ball hard, putting the ball in the air, two very, very important things. And the biggest thing here is the matchup against Nick Pivetta. So you see it's like a moderate advantage in favor of the batter. Michael Busch is really streaky. He had a stretch last year where I think he hit a home run in 7 straight games. Basically didn't do anything outside of that. So hopefully he's continuing the hot stretch he's been on, taking out yesterday. But the reason why I wanted to target Nick Pivetta, there are a couple reasons. So we're going to look at him. His home run per 9 has historically been pretty bad. 1.73 is among the worst in the MLB last year. Might have been the worst. 1.45 bad. 1.35 bad. 1.39 bad. 2.30 bad. Across the board bad. Been pretty good this year. Only 0.53 home run per 9. But you look at his StatCast here, which gives you a little bit more detail. Barrel rate of 9.3% is pretty bad. And you see that's online with his average. I mean, he was rough 2 years ago, had a rough stretch here, but he's mostly between like a 9 to 10% barrel rate kind of guy. So I think those home runs for Nick Pivetta are going to start to come. And another reason why I like betting against him is if you look at his barrel rate specifically against lefties. We're looking at Nick Pivetta. We're looking at against left-handed hitters. You see against righties, 0%. Hasn't allowed a righty to barrel the ball up this year. Now his home run was allowed to a righty, but that ball was probably had the home run that was hit off him probably had a launch angle a little bit below or above the sweet spot of 28 to 27 to 30 degrees. We go against lefties. That barrel rate goes up to 12.5%. So every single barrel he has allowed this year has been against the lefty. Now, these stats don't look terrible. The hard hit rate, all that stuff don't look terrible, but he is allowing guys to barrel the ball up. And he has been a home run guy in his career. And you want to know why? Because that fastball. He throws a fastball like 60% of the time. And Michael Busch has pretty good stats against the four-seam fastball. From righties. So does Kyle Tucker. So if you wanted to go with Kyle Tucker, I wouldn't blame you. But we're looking at Michael Busch we want to look against right-handed pitching. That's why I was a little bit confused. So yeah, he's seen 3 fastballs have left the bat against right-handed pitching. Or this is actually the slider. That's not what I want to look at. He does hit the fastball well as well. So barrel rate of 11% against the four-seam fastball is really good. You want to look at the last week, which is when really why we're targeting him, because his last week has been so good. That barrel rate. Tucker also looks good. So if you wanted to bet Kyle Tucker, I wouldn't blame you. No, we want to go days here, last 7 days. 30% barrel rate, 60% hard hit rate, 83% fly ball rate. I mean, you look at the numbers here. Yesterday was when he didn't have a great day at the plate. 100.3 miles per hour off the bat, 102.6, 102.9, 106.8. That's all four-seam fastballs from righty. So he has smoked them. Again, Kyle Tucker's good too. If you want to go with Kyle Tucker, you can. I just, looking at Kyle Tucker, he hasn't been doing a great job. I mean, he did a couple days ago, but he hasn't really been putting the ball in the air. That fly ball rate, this is against righties or against fastballs of 50%. It's been a little bit low for Kyle Tucker, who's historically been really good at putting the ball in the air. But we look at the fly ball rate. This is just against right-handed pitching in general. 20% for Kyle Tucker, almost 70% for Michael Busch. And you look at his stats against righties. I mean, 22% barrel rate. All that stuff is phenomenal. So yeah, that's my 4th and final pick. Michael Busch to hit a home run. Again, that was at plus 540 odds at FanDuel. I always do a small emphasis on small amount on a parlay of all 4 in case we have one of those days, which has happened a couple times over the last 2 years where we get all 4. I put literally $1.50 is what I put on it. So a unit for me is $100. So a quarter unit, $25. This is $1.50. But we got Michael Busch, Corey Seager, Nick Castellanos, and Rafael Devers, all 4 of them to hit a home run. And Devers, I should have mentioned this, but I forgot. I put 0.3 units on him. Hopefully you're still watching this and can get the correct unit size. I put 0.3 on Rafael Devers because I want to make sure I'm profiting a unit if these guys hit a home run. But one of these guys hits a home run, we're making money. Multiple hit a home run, we're making a lot of money. If all 4 hit a home run, we will profit 4.73 units. Let's hope that happens. Longer video, sorry for that, but it's not my fault. I'm on pain meds, not my fault. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video. Check out my Tails account where I send everything out. Check out Ballpark Pal. I put a link to both of them in the description of the video. And I can also get you a discount to Ballpark Pal, 10% off for the year, 10% off for the month, 15% off for the year. Just check the promo codes in the comments/description. Bet responsibly, all that good stuff, and have a good one.